Hey guys, hope you're all doing well out there. Had a quick channeled message that I wanted to share with you guys and related to our thoughts and how our thoughts, negative thoughts particularly, are actually parallel realities playing out. So other versions of us playing out. Now, I'm gonna give you guys a new perspective on this because there's obviously other factors as to why someone might have negative thoughts. A, it's natural to the human experience. Sometimes we just have negative, sad days, like that's normal, okay? But B, repetitive negative thoughts of what if this, what if that scenarios, or constantly replaying scenarios of a time that has not happened yet, of the future, the unknown. Those, maybe clinicians would diagnose as like a mental illness. But I like to provide a different perception here that Spirit has been guiding me to share with you guys. So you need to think of thoughts like atoms. When we were in school, early on, we learned in science class that atoms are something we can't see. Atoms make up molecules, and that basically builds up matter. So it's the same case. It's something that you can't see. Thoughts are something that you can't really see, but you can feel because you're thinking it, right? So thoughts, because they're something like atoms, it builds up matter. Thoughts build up scenarios. Science proves this. So if we know that thoughts build up scenarios just in the same way that atoms build up matter, these are things we can't really see, but we know that they're there, we know that they exist, it's safe to say that the more that you allow a negative thought without giving yourself the opportunity to understand that thought, to understand where it's coming from or why you feel that way, actually will build that scenario. So it takes the negative experience from the parallel reality and brings it to the timeline that you're currently on. So it's not something to be fearful of, like, what if I think negatively, is this going to manifest? It's more so like, if you think negatively for a week straight, you stay in a victim mindset. You actually don't give yourself the space and time to understand why that negative thought is coming through, or give yourself the space and time to release that negative thought, to heal with that negative thought. Like, don't allow yourself to be anxious about the future, the unknown, because it's a time that has not happened. And when you allow yourself to be anxious for too long, it really is going to build that fear that you don't want to happen. This is science. This is science for all my logical-minded friends who need the record there for that. This is science, okay? So we are being given an opportunity right now to understand how our negative thoughts are actually parallel realities. They're thought forms of parallel experiences that are not in the now. They're illusions, okay? Fear-based illusions that oftentimes come into our mind because of a number of things, society telling us to be a certain way, or we've had experiences, bad quote-unquote experiences, unfortunate experiences with that thought in the past. There's infinite reasons as to why that negative thought might be coming in your head. But now you have an opportunity to, one, allow yourself the space to identify that negative thought, call it out, see for what it is. It's a negative thought, fear-based thought. Why is it negative? Why are you fearing what's going to happen in the future? Why are you running through these scenarios of what if this happens, what if this happens? Try to ask the why. Even if you don't have the answer, just start asking yourself, like, why would I be thinking this way? Like, why? Because something like this has happened to me before, so it's going to happen again. Why? You actually put yourself in a position for it to happen again. Don't know who this message is for. It's very specific. If you're thinking about it that much, you got to think about it. But here's a perception twist. What if those negative thoughts are just parallel experiences? What if you're thinking about it because it's happening in another parallel reality and not in this one, and that's why it's entering your consciousness, right? So if atoms build molecules, I might be making that backwards, which builds matter, or molecules build atoms, which builds matter, okay? It's been a long time since my science class. But then we know it's something that we can't see. Thoughts do the same thing. We know it's something we can't see, but they build up an egregore. It builds up into matter that actually can physically manifest. Same thing. So what if instead we can take the awareness that that negative thought I have in my mind, it's there for a reason, because I obviously need to heal and work on something, but I don't need to let it fester for too long, because it's also a parallel reality. It's something that hasn't happened in the now yet. And so why don't I just release it? You can't release it right away, because obviously it's not natural to just like let go of negative thoughts like that. Some people it might be natural, but for other people it won't be. It's hard. You need some time to ruminate, to feel your emotions, to understand why you're feeling that way. Okay, so then there's the call. That's the opportunity. So the second is the opportunity that's coming through for you to understand why you feel that way, why you feel so bothered by this experience that's coming through, and what you can do with that thought. Identify that it's a parallel reality, give it the space to be healed, let it go. Easier said than done, you guys. So definitely take the time to ruminate on this message. Allow yourself the space to identify what negative thoughts you've had over the last few days, and whether you can truly come to terms with the fact that those negative thoughts are parallel realities that have not happened. And if the negative thoughts are related to something that has happened to you in your 3D waking life, remember that the repetitive negative thoughts could make that experience happen again. So you're actually being had and led to have an opportunity, Spirit is saying, to remember that things don't really happen to us. They do, but they also happen for us. Yeah, so that's the message, guys. 5:55 on the clock. I hope that this message resonates with someone out there. It's pretty specific. I know when my guides first told me about the negative thoughts being parallel realities, it made me start to realize that, like, I understand that, because much of what fear is anyways, and negative thought patterns on an energy level anyways, like if you were to look at, for example, negative thoughts under a microscope, like the energy of negative thoughts under a microscope at a cellular level, just as a metaphor here, you would see that it's illusionary. It's not there. There's nothing there. It doesn't exist. Fear and negativity is something that doesn't exist. It's an illusion. It happens in reality, but it's an illusion. And when we let things ruminate, of course, naturally, because of experience, we sometimes make the situation worse for ourselves by bringing that parallel reality into the present moment. We definitely don't want to have that, right? So, yeah, you guys, I hope that this message resonated. Let me know if it does. And more messages to come. Turn your post notifications on. And if you'd like to book a psychic reading, you can do so in the link in my bio. Sending love and light.